Ain't no retirement, man. So y'all, I always thought that if you was born in the early 60s, that you could retire at like 65. Come to find out, I was just reading something and it says something about 67. I didn't know they had moved it up. I knew they were trying to move it up, but I didn't know that they did move it. Anyway, long story short, uh, this video is about retirement after 60, or better yet, not no retirement after 60. I moved around a lot as a youngster, had a lot of different jobs and all of that kind of stuff. I really basically didn't stay still nowhere. So it was always a different job, a different state, a different something like that, which ain't good for retirement when you think about it and when you look back on it. So I'm at the age now that I'm getting close to retirement. And when I got this last job that I'm on, I think this year will be 8 years. I can work here to 10 years and be vested, but that still don't mean I'll be able to retire. So by the time I make 10 years here, I'll be 63, 64, something like that. But all in all, I'm not going to be able to retire. And here's why. Well, let me take that back. I don't want to speak that into the atmosphere or the universe, or I don't want God to hear that. Because you know, you have what you say. So I don't want to say that, but just from a but just from the numbers point of view, and where I am in life and all of that type of stuff, let's just say hypothetical, right? Because everything can change in at any point, and I believe that. So, like I said, I've been on this job for, I think July or June will be 8 years. So I'll be 62 this year. So 10 years I'll be 64. I actually thought I could retire at 65, but I didn't think I would retire. I actually had it in my mind that retirement age was 65, but I never thought I would be able to retire even still, right, at that age, because like I say, I've had a lot of jobs. I've put money into Social Security, but I know that they're trying to do this whole new thing and change it all the way like up to 70 or whatever. I'm not really deep into it, so don't quote me. But like I said in the beginning, I actually thought the retirement age for my age group was 65, and it's not, because I just saw something this morning. I actually looked it up or Googled it this morning, and I realized that it's 67, which is really not going to make a difference for me because I'm going to have to work till I probably can't work no more. And that's one of my reasons for wanting to kind of stay healthy, because I can still get around and do what I need to do and work if I need to work. You feel what I'm saying? But for, like I always say, for the youngsters that might stumble up on this video, excuse me, for the youngsters that might stumble up on this video, you might want to get your business in order, because we don't think about all of that stuff when we're young. We just think about the moment and what's going on right now, and these people getting on my nerves, and I don't want to keep doing this and I don't want to keep doing that, and been there, done that. I'm telling you from experience. You understand? So it's like I say, get your business in order, because it's gonna come a time, and let me tell you why my mentality was the way it was, which still doesn't make it right, or it's still not the right way to go about it or think about it. My dad died when I was young. I was 18. He died when he was young. He had just turned 37 years old. And so with that crazy mentality, or I wouldn't say crazy because that's the way I thought then, I never thought I would make it to be 60 years old or 65 to retire or even 50 for that matter, right? So, like I said, long story short, that's why, or that was partially why my mentality was what it was. Now, the other reasons were like, I'm tired of this. It's the same thing. I get bored real quick, right? And when things ain't going right, it's time to move around. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not. Well, I would say this in today's atmosphere, in today's climate, that might be a good thing because there's more opportunities now that you can have your own business and do your own thing and make your own hustles and all of that kind of stuff. That's always been there, but there was just a few. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There was like a few people, or I wouldn't say chosen, but they were only a few people that were doing that because they the ones who had that mindset. And that's where the word hustlers came in because those were the hustlers. Everybody else was just get a job, work on that job for 20, 30, 40 years and retire. But by the time it was time to retire, they done checked out. And then somebody had to put together suppers and all of that kind of stuff to raise money to bury him. But that's a whole nother video. So, like I said, with all of that being said, I say that I won't be able to retire at the retirement age because of some of the choices that I made in life, right? I've had some decent jobs. Most of the most of the best jobs I had were as I got older, right? Which is like the one that I'm on now. It's a state job, and don't believe the hype about state jobs. I'm just gonna tell you that right now because I just swore to God that if you got a state job, boy, you balling out of control. You got the best medical. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The best insurance, the best retirement, all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the thing with this job. At a certain point in time, they were doing 90% of what your pay rate was when you retired. Then it went down to 60. Then it went down to 30. And when I came in, it was basically nothing. Well, I won't say nothing, but damn near nothing. So basically what we have now is 401k and they'll match it up to 5%, which is okay too, because if I put something up and they put 5% with that, then that's on me. You know what I'm saying? How much I put up, how much I can sacrifice, and all of that different kind of stuff. But we're just talking about straight up retirement. Like when you retire, aside from Social Security, this is what you'll get. Or if you retire before the Social Security retirement age, which is 67, because I've known people on this job to they started when they were like in high school or right out of high school, and they've already retired with like 25 or 30 years. You see what I'm saying? They've already retired with like 25 or 30 years. So, and but they're still young enough or capable to go get another job, and they've done that. So all of that's factors, but we're talking about me right now and some of the people who are like me who didn't plan for this uh this stage in life. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I always talk about wifey because she's a planner. She planned all of that. She got excuse me, God forbid, but when she leave this earth, she got all of that planned out. She know what she want to wear. She know where she gonna be buried. She know, man, listen, I didn't know, and still don't know none of that. I know that I can think on some stuff, but I don't know. I mean, not saying that I'm out in the cold, because I'm gonna be all right. Trust me when I tell you. But just uh, just comparing myself to her and other people who are prepared. Like there are so many people that's prepared for retirement and all of that. I know this one lady. She uh she had like over $100,000 in 401k or something like that. Not even talking about her retirement. And she did retire, but she went and got another job. Not a hard job or whatever, but you know, you got to keep yourself busy. And that's one thing about me too. If I God say the same, if I get to the retirement age and I can retire and I'm doing well financially, I still need something to keep me busy because I can't. And y'all all done heard that old saying about um, if you when most people retire or they stop doing whatever they were doing, then they eventually wither away or just die off. I don't want to be that person. Not just to say I don't want to just die off, because that's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us. But my point is to say I want to be able to move around and do some things that I've always wanted to do. And you know what I'm saying? I got this this dream about living in the country or being in a wide open country and working on the land and cutting trees and building stuff. And you know, that's one of my dreams. And if God allows that to happen, I want to be in decent enough shape to be able to still do that and not just retire and have to be in the old folks home or somebody taking care of me and all of that kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But back to the retirement, financial side of retirement. It's like I said, if and I'm hoping some youngsters do stumble up on this and get some of this game, not just from me, but from some of the other old heads or even some of the ones who did plan and know how to make a plan and how to lead them or show them how it's done. Cause I ain't gonna be able to do it. I can't show you nothing. I mean, I, at my big age, I'm still learning, and that's a good thing because at least I'm not that person that's not trying to learn nothing or not trying to get it together. You know what I'm saying? So again, if God give me the time and the wisdom and the whereabout to do what I need to do, then maybe I'll be, you know what I mean, in a good position. But that's really gonna be on him now because all I can do now is just keep moving, and I'm okay with that because I made my bed. I have to sleep in it, and I'm all right. I've always been all right with that. If I make the choice and I make the decision to do whatever I'm gonna do, then I know I have to suffer the consequences or go through whatever goes along with that. And I'm okay with that. Nobody put me in this position. It was all me. It was all my uh 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 it was all my decisions. And so I'm okay with that. And that's how that's how I roll anyway. Cause I'm not pointing the finger at nobody saying, "Oh, I quit because this person did that, and I didn't do this because that person did this, and I didn't save because of this." Nah, it's all me, and I'm okay with that, right? But like I was saying, get your business together, cause it's gonna come a time when you're gonna need that. You're gonna need you're gonna need to be set up. You're gonna need, you know what I'm saying? Cause to be honest with you, the way my mentality was and the way I was about getting bored so easily about certain things, because I can do so many things and I can learn so easily, so to speak. I just always feel like the same way I got this one, I could get another one. You know what I mean? But that's good in a way, and then maybe not in another way. So, but like I was saying, because I got bored so easily or whatever, I never did see myself on a job more than 3 or 4 years. Like until I got this job, my longest time on a job was like 3 or 4 years, about three years and something. And that's when I was a chef. I was a chef at a restaurant in New Orleans, one of the top restaurants, the Windsor Court restaurant. Not to name drop, but just to say that's where I was a chef over there. And that was like the longest I had really stayed at one job. Most of the jobs I had might have been a year or two or whatever, and it was either it wasn't enough and I needed some more, or everything, just other stuff. It was always something. But it just so happens that when I got this job, it wasn't really paying. Trust me when I tell you, don't believe the hype about state job. Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you straight off the top. When I came to this job, they started me at $9.50 an hour. Now we talking about 7 years ago. So picture that. And I'm like, bruh, I'm not going to, how I'm going to do now? Granted, all of my kids were grown and all of that kind of stuff. So it was just me and my wife, and she was working. But that was my first job I got when I moved to Georgia. And I said to myself, because remember I said about having a plan. My plan was, bro, you're getting older. You ain't going to be able to keep moving around, quitting these jobs, getting other jobs. I mean, you can still do that, but it ain't going to help you. So my plan was to say, okay, it's a state job. There's benefits involved. They might not be the greatest, but you have benefits. And it only takes 10 years to get vested, right? So if I can hang out for them 10 years, at least them 10 years, I'll be vested. Then I started learning and moving up and moving up and moving up. And now I'm in a position where I don't have to work so hard, you know what I'm saying? And still come to work every day and don't get beat up physically. You know what I mean? So that was my plan. Stay here, retire from here, because before that, I never even thought about retirement. But then at that point, I'm like, well, bro, you never thought you was going to make it to 50. Now you didn't pass 50. You better start trying to plan something. You know what I mean? So that I'm saying all of that to say that. Don't wait until you get there to start planning. And God forbid, but if you don't make it there, at least you would have started planning anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just wish I could have thought about it that way back in the G, but I didn't. And so I got to deal with that. And I'm cool with that. But anyway, I'm not going to make this video too long. Like I say, get your business in order. Find you somewhere where you can grow at. Find you somewhere where you can, and every day ain't peaches and cream. Trust me. Even when I was working harder, or even now when I don't have to work so hard. Because either way the cut go, you got to deal with people. And that's one of my biggest things, right? So find somewhere that you can grow at. Find you somewhere that may not be the best place in the world, or you might not feel the best about it in the beginning. But if you can deal with it for a little while till it get better, that's the way to do it. Or take the other route. Because like I said, in this climate, we have so many people that are starting their own businesses, that are doing their own things. And that's beautiful. That's a great thing. I just can't do it. I'm tired. I don't feel like and I keep saying that. I said I was going to stop saying that, but I mean mentally, because physically, God has blessed me to still be able to move around and do what I need to do, and not just on no average type stuff. I can do what I need to do when I tell you. But like I said, that's a great thing if that's your thing. But just make sure you put the hustle behind it, because you can't just start a business and don't promote it. You can't start a business and don't do the footwork and do what it takes to make that business grow. You feel me? Or even expect for your family or your friends to support you, because 9 times out of 10, people You ever heard that old saying that they treat you better away from home than they do at home? That's why a lot of the ball players go overseas to play ball, because they treat them so much better. You understand what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So get a plan and do what you got to do and take care of your business. Set yourself up for the future. And one thing about me, I hate it to save anything, because again, my whole mentality was I ain't gonna be here no way. So what I'm gonna get what I want now, because why save all my money and put it all in the bank and then I'm gonna die anyway. Sometimes I still have that mentality, but not as much as I used to. You know what I'm saying? Because now I've lived past 50 and now I've lived past 60. When in actuality, like I said before, I never thought I would live that long. But I'm here. And I don't want to get to, God forbid, I get to 70 or 80 and I ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? So take all of that in mind. Do what you will with it. If it work for you, work it. If it don't work for you, don't even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to talk about that, because that's something that we don't, well, I'll say a lot of us, because I know a lot of people that's in good shape. I mean, not physically, but I'm talking about mentally, financially. That's really what I'm talking about, financially. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people that they planned, excuse me, they planned for the future. They didn't wait and they didn't second guess and all of that. And I guess their mentality must have been, well, either way the cut go, I'm gonna be all right. If I leave here too early, it's gonna be all right. If I stay here long enough, I'm gonna be all right then. You know what I mean? And nowadays, medicine is so goddamn high, and the older you get, you're gonna be on something. And I try to keep my doctors from always wanting to throw some extra shit on me or put some and ask them, can I do it on my own? But that's a whole nother conversation. But just know that the older you get, you're gonna have to get medicine, you're gonna have to do doctor visits, you're gonna have to do all kind of different stuff. And even if you're in good shape, you know, stuff happens. You know what I mean? You just gotta be prepared for it. And that's my whole point in making this video. Be prepared for old age, because it's coming. And if it don't come, you ain't lose nothing. One love.